Hey there guys, just a quick one. Someone was asking yesterday about string bending and saying that it was hurting their finger to bend like 2 frets worth on the high E string with their third finger. I think unless you've got very sore fingertips already, the likely reason for that is that you're actually bending incorrectly and using the wrong technique. If anyone's out there watching this and you're bending with like one finger and like pushing like that with one finger, or maybe you've got multiple fingers down but your bend is performed by pushing your fingers, okay, both of those approaches are wrong, and they're not going to get you the desired results that you're after. So the right technique for bending then is actually going to be powered by the wrist. Okay, so it's not the fingers. The fingers are going to lock in place on your desired note. Let's take an A note. What we're going to try and do is get this A to go up to a B. So it's a 2 fret bend. I'll do it here on the B string, but you can do this on any string you like. Well, I say any string you like. We'll come back to that. So technique then, your thumb wants to be on top. Okay, and you should see that thumb resting on top there. It should be poking over the top saying hello. Where your index finger meets your palm, that should be touching the neck on the underside. Okay, so these two kind of points of contact are going to be like hinges, and your hand, you're going to think of this like a door, okay, that's going to swing on those hinges. So when you're pushing upwards, when you're pushing the string upwards, the hand moves inwards towards the neck. And if you're putting the string down, let's say you're bending on one of the thicker strings, okay, one of these guys down here, you go the other way. So opening the door, closing the door, okay? And it's powered sort of from the wrist. It's a turn of the wrist, okay? So let's see if we can see that in action then. I said I'd start at this A note. So what I do is put my third finger on the A note, and the second finger actually goes on behind it. Those two buddy up, and it's like it's trying to squeeze into the same fret. You can have it in the previous fret, in the 9th fret, but really those two want to be kind of touching for maximum kind of, I don't know, strength, I guess. You want to buddy them up. So 2 fingers here are holding the string down. First finger, and this one's really important, this one doesn't flap about in the wind over here. This is actually going to come in and lay down behind. So it's not pushing the strings down, it's resting on them. And the reason for that is it's going to act as a mute. So if you found yourself bending, and you kind of get those other lower strings rattling around, or you kind of ping off the G string, this first finger is going to try and alleviate that. It's going to be your bodyguard. It's going to mute that stuff out as you travel. So this first finger should be kind of resting, and you can see there it kind of overshoots the others. That G string in this resting position is muted out. That means as I move upwards, that kind of travels up with the other fingers as they go up, as the wrist pushes them up, and it mutes in that direction, that outwards direction as we go. So I'm set up here, okay, and then, okay, that's what it looks like side on. It's a turn. Okay, the fingers are locked in place. Okay, these guys, they don't move. It's the wrist. Okay, and in general, to practice your bending, you really want to practice the accuracy of the bends. Bending is a brilliant technique, which is not completely unique to guitar, but it's something we can do that piano players can't, for example. So we've got to be able to nail it and make it sound good, because bad bending sounds bad, okay? Sounds horrible. So when you're practicing bending, try something like this. So we started at an A note here. So let's take an A minor scale, okay? Good old A minor. Okay. What we're going to do is play our first note. That's the one that's going to get bent. And I would say slide up to your next note and back. And try and get that movement in your head, in your ear. Try and get that target note in your ear. And then try and match it with your bend. Go through the scale like that. All the time trying to use that correct technique. Try that on the E string, the B string and the G string. I mentioned that the G string can go both ways, okay? I think it's more usual to bend this one upwards. Okay, but it can come down in some circumstances. Less common, but it is done. So you kind of want to practice going both ways on the G if you can. Personally, I probably tend to bend down more on the first finger if I'm kind of stuck on that first finger. When you're bending on the second or third, you kind of get that first finger behind to mute as your protection. But when you end up on the first finger, you've got no protection. But if you go down, then it can touch the strings underneath and stop them from ringing out as you go. If you push up with the first finger, you're more likely to get crap ringing about underneath, okay? So push up, push up, push up mostly, sometimes down, pull down, pull down, pull down, okay? These are a bit harder, a bit thicker, okay? And to be honest, we don't bend them as commonly. So those might need a little bit more work if you intend on having licks that are bending those strings. It does happen. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea then on bending, okay? Really important to make those points of contact and power it from the wrist, not from the fingers, okay? And never with one finger, never just with that third finger or the middle finger. And really, if you can avoid it, try not to do it so much with the first finger, okay? Unless you're being really careful with the string muting that's going on around that. Your fingers like the extra support. And that hopefully won't hurt the tips of your fingers or your hand in general so much when you do that stuff, okay? So have some fun with that, and I'll see you around.